Field trips are designed to provide students with experiences outside their everyday activities. Recently, students from Osceola Middle School embarked on one such journey to Kennedy Space Center. The center has been the launch site for all manned space flights since the early 1960s. It was named after President John F. Kennedy 1 week after he was assassinated in November of 1963. Located in Merritt Island, Florida, the center is rich in history and provides students with a wealth of learning opportunities through its programs and exhibits. We tagged along with the students to provide some insights from them.
So we've done the Shuttle Atlantis exhibit. We walked through there. There's some really cool plaques there, and I liked reading those. One of them said to keep believing and that we can do this and get through all the challenges that we've done. And so we had the simulator, which was really fun. It basically simulates what happened in an actual launch. Well, engineering, I really like that, and how stuff works.
This is the firing room, launch control for the Apollo missions. This is not a mock-up. These are the very consoles we sat at when men first took off to fly to the moon.
I thought that spaceships and space, I've really liked that since I was really, really little, and I just really want to work here.
So I'll tell you another story about Scott Kelly, since I said before, he was up there for 340 days continuously, the longest continuous mission by any NASA astronaut.
It's been amazing, and we just got back from the lunch with an astronaut. We actually got to meet a real live astronaut that's been on a rocket, and it was really cool because we got to learn how they go to the bathroom and how they eat without their water floating around everywhere because there's zero gravity. So that was really cool to learn.
You take gravity away and you squeeze water out of your drink bag. Everything floats. I want you to remember that for later, okay? Everything floats.
I learned that there were 3 different stages in the rocket, and that each stage goes off as you get higher, and that it gives you more pressure and push, and it goes faster, and I didn't know that before. I've also learned that there were over 13 Apollo missions, and that the 8th one was the first successful one that man actually traveled and went into space without there being difficulties, which was really cool. So I've had a great day.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. If this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred.
About a year ago, we told you about the horse breeding program at Bellevue High. Meet the newest addition, Faith, born March 29th.
This process was probably more educational than most because she gave us such a hard time getting into foal, and I think it taught more than just about the foaling process and about how you get a mare in foal, but also teaches kids that things don't always come easy, and sometimes you have to work a little bit harder in life, but if you're dedicated and determined enough, it may take a little while, but you can see a good result. We live in a world that's very instantaneous and we expect results right away, so this is something you had to wait 11 months to see the outcome.
It's really cool because I finally got to see it from start to finish. When I first got here, she was already in foal and she had a baby then, so it was cool just to watch the breeding process, to hear about how they got her pregnant, and Dr. Attenberry coming out and giving the ultrasound, and she showed us when she saw the embryos and what she had to do for it and stuff.
I came out the second day, the second morning, and Dr. Attenberry taught me how to properly put the IV in the neck vessel to draw the blood.
I learned that it's a lot to take care of an animal, that you have to be able to watch for signs and to know when she might give birth, and I want to be a nurse, so I got to use this as part of my senior project. I learned how to draw medicine, take care of a foal, which is kind of like taking care of a newborn. I learned how to feed properly and keep a schedule and just all the maintenance and stuff that came with her having the baby.
Some of my standards have to deal with nutrition, so as the mare is in different parts of her gestation period or pregnancy, her digestion changes, so we learn about it, then we come out here and we do it. And then, like they said, the medication, we have in our standards learning how to dose medicine. So we learn about how to dose medicine, and then they have to give it. Probably about 70% of our standards can be hit by using this mare as the hands-on approach, because I definitely believe that kids need to learn in the classroom, but they need to be able to apply what they learn.
I included this part of my senior project is I got to come out here and learn how to like give shots and to give oral medication and to watch to make sure it's okay, and just everything you basically learn as a nurse, like the medical procedures you can put towards an animal too. Now
we have to do the hands-on with the foal. They don't come out knowing how to lead and walk and do everything. So hands-on contact, we did a very short, like 15-20 minutes is about what you want to do. Kind of let them get used to being touched everywhere, their ears, all the way down their legs, so that when the farrier has to come, they're used to that. So just those beginning process, because our ultimate goal is to get her into the OBS horse sale in January.
Faith is the second horse born in the program. Her older brother, American Phantom, is in his third year of racing, mostly at Gulfstream Park. Who knows? You could be looking at the 2020 Kentucky Derby winner right now. Marion County Public Schools continues to honor our veterans by installing Purple Heart parking throughout the district. These dedications will add to the growing list of locations with reserved parking for combat wounded veterans. In July of 2013, Governor Rick Scott signed a law that allowed public schools to stock epinephrine for the treatment of anaphylaxis. The federal government in November of the same year signed the School Access to Emergency Epinephrine Act, providing financial incentives to states that maintain a stock of the drug on sites where the likelihood of a food allergy might occur. The district is in the process of installing lockers containing the EpiPen auto-injectors throughout schools in Marion County.
EpiPens are very, very, important, because if you have a child with an allergic reaction, some can go closer to 5 minutes where their throat is closing up, or some take a little bit longer. So having the EpiPens here is a great idea, because not only do we have the EpiPens here that we have for particular students, now they're giving us to expand to maybe those parents can't afford those EpiPens. So if we're in the cafeteria and we have, the emergency response team, responsible for that, I think it's a great idea, because it's very important as far as saving a child's life, with having the EpiPen here. So when you get your box, it would have a trainer. You definitely don't want to grab that if you're going into an episode, but there's a trainer. And then you have the actual twin pack, where it comes with two, because sometimes when a child is having a reaction, you administer one, and within the next couple minutes, if EMS don't arrive, they sometimes instruct you to administer the second one. So this medicine, once it is injected to the outer thigh, it's gonna cause an adrenaline rush. So you definitely want to keep the child on the floor, roll over to the side for vomiting purposes, because if they vomit, you don't want them to regurgitate that back down. Then that's another problem with the child choking. Then you got to roll over into CPR and first aid, and that's why it's good to have all of those trainings in together. But this is very serious, because most kids, this is a lifesaver. Besides EMS coming, this is our next step to getting that child back to breathing.
With the 100th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Jonnu Smith, tight end, Florida International.
Or, as he's known around here, a former member of the Westport Wolfpack. The 2013 Westport High graduate is one of the most successful pass catchers in FIU history and the first member of the Wolfpack ever selected in the NFL Draft. Congratulations.